Hey! So something exciting that's happening is that Virgin Media, my internet service provider, have begun to roll out their Gigabit download service, which is a huge change from the Virgin Media I was complaining about only 2 months ago now, who had locked away their fastest connection, 500 megabits per second, behind a very expensive cable TV and phone bundle, which was disgusting. And I have a feeling that this change is the result of financial incentives from the UK government.
And it's for exactly that reason, to increase connectivity and livability, that we are now accelerating the programme for Gigabit broadband so fast. And well, it's going to be... To be truthful, I'm not entirely sure of the exact technical details of Gigabit broadband, but we're bringing it forward by 8 years, and it will mean that everybody has, not just super fast, but incredibly fast, speed of light broadband spreading into every home in the country like super informative vermicelli.
Now, playing that wasn't any sort of political endorsement or anything like that. I just find it interesting that Gigabit broadband is being included in political speeches, and thought that those abroad might find it interesting too. So Virgin Media's new Gig1 service, which has just launched in my city and will be coming to another this year, I suspect Manchester, offers download speeds averaging 1,104 megabits per second and upload speeds of 52 megabits per second. So it is a very asymmetrical connection, which personally I think means that it shouldn't meet the description of Gigabit broadband because the internet is a two-way stream of data. But the Virgin Media network uses the DOCSIS standard, which is unfortunately asymmetrical on all but the latest version. With that said though, the currently used version, 3.1, does seem to offer enough capacity on the upload to support a symmetrical gigabit line, so I'm not sure what's causing the restriction. Sadly, it is actually common practice in the UK to exclude upload speed from all marketing, and you often have to go digging just to find out what the upload speed is. So it's not surprising that upload is a complete afterthought. So I've been with Virgin Media for a very long time now, because I'm yet to live in an area that can get fibre to the premises. So I'm stuck with fibre to the cabinet, and Virgin Media are my only viable option. Virgin Media uses a combined modem and router unit for all their residential connections, and you can put them into a modem only mode and then use your own router, which is what I always do. It would be nice if they just straight up gave people the option to have a modem only unit, or even to buy their own modem and use that instead. So far, I've used the original Superhub, which eventually died in a thunderstorm, then a Superhub 2, and later a 2AC, which were both okay. And finally, up until now, I've been on the Hub 3.0. Now, the Hub 3 used a Puma 6 chipset from Intel, which is infamous for having a hardware flaw that caused huge spikes in latency, which, as you can imagine, hit gamers especially hard. And both Virgin Media and Intel were extremely slow to even acknowledge the issue. So I was really pleased to be upgrading to the Hub 4. That was until I learned that its Puma 7 chipset is also quite flawed. However, I'm reading that its extra performance has made the latency bug easier to work around, so fingers crossed I won't run into any problems. So for those of you out there that don't use modem only mode, even though you really should, the Hub 4 features 4 gigabit Ethernet ports, and for Wi-Fi uses Wi-Fi 5, with 3x3 MIMO on 2.4 GHz and 4x4 MU-MIMO on 5 GHz. Now, there's two things missing here. The first is Wi-Fi 6. But I actually don't think that's too much of an issue here. Like, if you need a serious cutting-edge router, then you can just buy your own. But what is a huge disappointment is the lack of an Ethernet port that's faster than 1 gigabit per second. This means that even if you have a high-end router and home network, the most you'll be able to get out of this modem is around 940 megabits per second, despite it being able to take in over 1,100 megabits per second, according to the marketing. Now, if you just use the Hub 4, you will be able to take advantage of faster than gigabit downloads for multiple users, for example, 2 PCs connected over Ethernet. But if you do want a separate router, you'll be leaving 100 to 200 megabits per second behind, which is a lot of people's entire internet connection. And this is bandwidth that you've paid for, so this is a huge disappointment. So yeah, I've now got everything installed, and it's finally time to do a speed test and see what Gig1 is capable of. So starting with speedtest.net, I have to say that I have found speedtest.net to be a bit inconsistent in recent years, so I don't use it much these days. But the results that I got were 944.27 down and 52.72 up. Next is broadbandspeedchecker.co.uk, and this gives a very similar result with 947.33 down and 52.06 up. So I'm very much hitting that real world limitation of gigabit Ethernet that I was talking about earlier. So if finally I try a test like Sam knows, which runs the speed test only as far as the hub 4, instead of all the way to my PC, then we can see the full advertised speed, a 1124 down and 51.6 up. I have been tweeting a lot about this new connection, and I'm really surprised by some of the thoughts out there, especially given that my audience is full of tech enthusiasts. People will say things like, but what do you need this sort of speed for? Or, I think insert connection speed is fast enough for me. And I mean, I get it, you don't have to watch something download, you can do other things in the meantime. But I personally think that it's vital that everyone keeps a constant pressure on ISPs and politicians to provide faster and faster connections for less money, because that's how technology progresses. If you think your connection is fast enough, what incentive does anyone have to improve it for you? Even now, I'm on one of the fastest connections in the country, and my thoughts are, why is Virgin Media's Gig1 service £62 per month, when other networks in the UK can provide an 18 times faster upload speed for over 20% less money? Why advertise it as being able to do 1100 megabits per second, when you haven't built the modem/router combo in a way that allows me to actually utilise that in my home network? Virgin Media's Gig1 service is a massive step in the right direction for the ISP, but they still have a lot of improvements to make before they'd be a service that I'd actually recommend, rather than something I just tolerate because I have no other options. But anyway, I hope you liked this little video. If you did, please hit the like button. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd be interested in seeing a video on me doing a complete overhaul of my home network with a new router, switch and access points, because that's something that I've been considering. If you do want to see more of my videos and haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, or perhaps consider becoming a patron. And thank you for watching.